Welcome, candidates, for the Preliminary Administrative Services Credential at Point Loma Nazarene University. My name is Lori Call. I am a professor and faculty member in the Education Department of Point Loma for Graduate Studies, and I'm the program lead for the Prelim Administrative Credential. So I am here today to give you a rundown of the handbook that you have likely just been handed or emailed to you, and give you kind of a rundown in case you forgot what I gave you and we chatted about during your advising appointment. It's always good to have something to refer back to. So this is going to go over the handbook a little bit more in detail. And this is the brand new hot off the press 2020-21 version. So I'm going to share that with you today. It's a little different than the previous version for 2019 and 2020. So we're going to start first with the course sequence of the courses that you're going to be taking for your program and working towards your credential. It is aligned with the CAPES, which stands for California Administrative Performance Expectations. That's what you are required to know and understand and be able to exemplify through the CTC. And there's several ways you do that. You do that by taking the courses for this credential, and also through the APA and fieldwork. So those are the pieces that you need to be able to complete to apply for your credential. So these are the courses. They are not in this order, but GEL is 6003 is instructional leadership. They're each 3 units. Then you have 6004, equitable and socially just school communities, 6005, and so on, up to 6008. And if you look up at the CAPES, you will notice there are 6 courses and there are 6 CAPES, and that is intentional. Each of the courses are focusing on a different portion of the CAPE that also aligns with the APA, the Administrative Performance Assessment that you are required to take, and I'll get to that in a moment here. And that is supported in 3 out of the 6 assignments, and that'll be considered your fieldwork. So I'm going to kind of go through that and tell you how that works. So you've got all your courses, and every course, all 6 courses, you take a course and you also sign up for a 1-unit fieldwork course. And there are fieldwork requirements that are connected with this, and it depends on whether it's an APA course or a non-APA course according to what you do. So, and I'll cover that as we get down further in the handbook. You as well should, I would think, want to get your Master's of Arts in Education and Educational Leadership along with it. It's an excellent program to be able to kind of do it all in one fell swoop in about a year and a half and get it all done and be good to go. So these are the courses that are required, and it includes your master's thesis and a minimum of 2 units for elective courses that you can choose from. And there are 3 courses you can choose from that I'm going to get to in a moment as well. The APA, as I mentioned before, the California Administrative Performance Assessment, is required by the CTC in order for you to qualify to apply for your credential. And this is tested and supported in 3 of our 6 courses. So you've got Cycle 1 that's completed during 6006. Cycle 2, which is completed during 6007, and Cycle 3 that's completed during 6003. And then the other 3 courses, you have fieldwork, 2 that are assigned and 2 that you get to choose from a discretionary list, which I will show you in a moment. And it happens, we have this happen, especially during COVID-19, during this time. It's harder in a Zoom environment sometimes to show what you know, so to speak, and follow all the requirements. And that's what we're here to do, is support you through that during this time as well. But if for some reason you're not successful to pass on the first attempt, we do have a plan and a process. You meet with a program, that would be me, coordinator, and then you register for 691 APA support, and then you work with that coordinator to resubmit the APA at the candidate's cost, which means you have to pay for it again. So I apologize for that, but you do. The second attempt, if you don't pass a second time, you once again go through the same process, signing up for 691. But after the third attempt, if you do not pass after the 4th attempt, you are not eligible to apply for a credential. So it is our goal wholeheartedly to get you through that process in the 2nd or 3rd time, and we will do that to support you. So Also, there are opportunities and instances where we have candidates who are administrative interns We have the same for teachers who are interning. You meet certain requirements in order to get a somewhat like a temporary credential, an intern credential, to be able to work as an administrator. These are the requirements that you have to meet in order to do so. 4 years of successful teaching, minimum of 6 units in the PASS program, GPA of 3.0, and be recommended by the program coordinator. So those all things need to happen in order for you to be able to do that. Something that if you have not been a Point Loma student before, which many of you probably have, you will remember our dispositions. These are critical and core in our program for teaching and administration and all of our education programs and credentialing. So the four indicators that we are looking for is honor, spirit of harmony, reflective learning, and being a professional and positive person and persevering. So these are going to be things you're going to be looked at in 2 of the 6 courses. You will be evaluated on this, and these are obviously things that we want to be a part of any candidate that comes through to the other side of their credential and goes out and supports teachers and students. We want all of these dispositions to be a core part of who you are. Fees. These are the fees for the APA. It's $150, and you have an initial first course $150 fee. And then once you get your master's research design, you start going through the thesis course, you'll have a $25 fee for IRB training, which is, if you do action research, you have to submit to the IRB a request to do your research with human beings and telling them that you plan to not harm anyone and how you will do so. When I went through this handbook with you, I asked you to take it home, look at it, and then sign this particular document. It's different than the last handbook. It's now on page 16, and it's considered the acknowledgement of the receipt of the handbook. So you'll need to sign this, page 16, and return it to me as proof that you have done so. Let's shift to fieldwork. I mentioned fieldwork. So you have your coursework that you take, the 6 courses, and along with those 6 courses, you have 6 fieldwork courses that you take. If it is an APA course, all of your fieldwork, as you see here, all of your fieldwork is fulfilled by completing the Cal APA. Okay. If it's a non-APA course, as 6004 is, you have 2 fieldwork that's required, and then you have 2 fieldwork that you're allowed to choose from the discretionary list. So, and these are not in order of how you take them, but 6003, you start out in the fall quad 1, and that's an APA, Cal APA 3 course. 6004 is the second quad of fall, and this is non-APA, and 6005 is actually in the summer in quad 1, and that is non-APA. 6006 is the second quad of the spring, and that is APA, and 607 is APA. So you've got cycle 1 in 6 and cycle 2 in 6007, and your very last course before you head into your master's courses is 6008, and that is a non-APA course. So that's kind of how it's all laid out, and how the units work towards that. So let's get to your responsibilities as a candidate. Excuse me. Administrative fieldwork requires a lot of time and organization, and it requires your input and obviously your focus and your complete attention to what you're going to do. It's a big process, but it's a very fun process. So the fieldwork begins with you setting up who your site supervisor is going to be, and I probably asked you for Form A. And that's the document that the principal on your school site or the vice principal, whomever you choose, needs to sign it to say that they will be your site supervisor. And then once you do that, you develop your outline, your Form B of your 4 mandatory or discretionary fieldwork experiences based on the CAPES. Now, if you are marching straight into the course, you're headed into Fall Quad 1, and you are starting with 6003, if that's the case. And if you are starting with 6003, you'd be starting with an APA. So you would be writing in, and I'll show you this document in a moment, what you're going to do for that. So this is basically, you start with your planning. What am I going to do? And I'm going to record what I'm planning to do. And then you initiate and meet with all three of you, your university supervisor, the site supervisor, which is called a triad meeting, to review your Form A and your Form B. But all of those are going to be going into TaskStream, so you will need a TaskStream account. If you have not signed up for one yet or activated an old one, then you need to do that. All of your documentation, as did for your teaching credential, will be going into TaskStream. So these are all your specific responsibilities. You need to complete all the portions of the APA. You assume responsibility, because we are adults, right, for meeting the deadlines and scheduling all meetings and keeping channels of communication open and so on. The 24 fieldwork experiences are what you have to plan out with your university supervisor and site supervisor. So all of those things apply. When you are choosing who your site fieldwork supervisor is, they're likely going to say, well, what do I have to do? Well, you can refer them to page 21, give them a copy of the handbook, and have them take a look at page 21, or you can just do a screenshot of page 21 so they know what the responsibilities are. So their job is to assist you, serving you with you as a coach and a mentor on a site, a school site that you are familiar with, they are familiar with students and staff, that you can do field work and complete your assessment, your APA, through showing what you know through videos and holding meetings and such, whatever is required of that particular APA. So they need to help with communicating with you between the university supervisor and getting feedback and counseling assistance, shadowing, supporting you through the process of learning, through all the staff conferences and walkthroughs and parent meetings you're going to be doing, and supporting staff and budget development. You're going to be covering it all. So they need to be there to walk you through that process. And then, of course, to be an encouragement. The University Fieldwork Supervisor, we provide through Point Loma, and each, so basically, when it comes to who your university fieldwork supervisor will be, we will assign one to you when it's a non-APA course. When it's an APA course, your mentor, your university fieldwork supervisor, is the professor. So for example, if it's 6003, that is an APA course. Therefore, the faculty member that teaches that, the adjunct faculty, will be your mentor. So whomever that person is. So you will be assigned, when it's a non-APA course, a fieldwork supervisor, and generally they stay the same throughout, so they get to know you. And these are their responsibilities here for you to take a look. Here are the requirements of the Cal APA. There are 3 cycles containing 4 components, which is investigate, plan, act, and reflect. Just like the teaching TPA, if you're familiar with that, this is now required. I believe we're in our 3rd year of this process. The Cal APA, once again, is tied to these 3 courses, 3 out of the 6. And so here are the people that are going to be supporting you. So the professor in Cal APA is the one who is going to be teaching the CAPES associated with the Cal APA, and with that particular CAPE that's focused in that course, to get you through all of them by the time you're done. So that's their support. They're going to support you through that. The fieldwork supervisor will support you through a whole myriad of other things, and discussing documents, defining and clarifying key terms. They're going to give you kind of the nuts and bolts of it and know a whole lot more, but your faculty member will as well. All right, so the fieldwork supervisor, let's see, I think I already went through that. I'm not going to go back through that again. I have just plunged through this. All right, so here's the breakdown of the courses. 6003, as I mentioned, this is an APA course. This is cycle 3, and your fieldwork is going to be labeled fieldwork 1, which is investigate. That's step 1 of the Cal APA. Fieldwork 2 is plan. Fieldwork 3 is act. Fieldwork 4 is reflect. So you can see how it's laid out. You have 4 fieldwork requirements for each course, and the way this is separated is by each of them being 1 step of the Cal APA, and you would record that on your Form B as you go along. 6004 and 6005 are non-APA 4 is in fall quad 2, 5 is in summer quad 1. So what you're going to have there, your fieldwork will be 2 assigned, and they'll be listed on the Form B, and then 2 that you get to choose from the discretionary list that I'll show you that we're getting close to here. Here's 6006. It's an APA course. Therefore, each of the fieldwork requirements include the steps of APA, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We move into 6007. This is an APA. This is cycle 2. It goes backwards. If you start in the fall, 6003 is cycle 3. Then you take 6006 in spring. 6007 first in spring quad 1, and that's cycle 2, and then you do cycle 1 if you come in that order, but you can come in actually any quad you would like to and jump in wherever you would like. 6008 is a non-APA, and that's 2 assigned and 2 choice, and that's the last course you're taking in the summer. So this is the discretionary list. This is the one you can pick 2 from for each non-APA course. So for example, the first one is with one or more colleagues at your site, provide to your staff a presentation of current best teaching practices. Working with your teachers at your school, develop an action research project to improve learning. We can scroll down, and this D7 says interview your school principal to determine all school intervention programs. We've got a bunch to choose from. D17, develop a detailed year-long plan for the orientation of new teachers and new support staff. Include a budget for implementing your plans. All of these things are connected to the CAPES, which are all aligned in the APA, the assessment that you will be taking. All right, so here are the forms in the back of the book. The back of the book, yes, it's the back of the handbook. Form A is the form that you will sign with your site supervisor, the person that's going to support you, the principal or vice principal on your campus. So they will need to sign this, and this is what you will look over and send one to me. You'll look over it with your university supervisor in your triad meeting in the very beginning, and then you'll upload it to TaskStream. Form B, this is the running list of what you've done for your fieldwork for your entire program. So the entire time you are here in all 6 courses, you will document everything that you are doing towards those fieldwork assignments. So 6003 is an APA course. You take the assessment. Therefore, you've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's not the discretionary list or required list. This you do each step of the APA. So you've got step 1 here would be investigate. Step 2 would be plan. Step 3 would be act. Step 4 would be reflect. Okay, so that's how it would work. Then you've got your 6004, which gives you your mandatory fieldwork. There's 2 of them. So for that, it's research a current national or regional educational topic. And the second one is develop an action plan with goals, activities, and a timeline for strengthening parental involvement in parent education on your campus. And it goes through all the things with PTA, ELAC, GATES, special needs, all of the different areas and groups that would be included in that. And then you pick 2 from the discretionary list, and so on. So it goes through, and for example, 6005 here is non-APA, so you're going to have 2 required, 2 choice, and so on. Here's APA, you can tell because it's these 4 are for the 4 steps of the APA, and it works your way through the whole process. So that's Form A and Form B. Form C is your fieldwork experience narrative template. So you're going to be reflecting each time you finish up your fieldwork, and this is the document that you will use to do that. And this also gives you what it's going to look like in TaskStream because it's submitted in TaskStream. So it gives you each of the prompts on what they're going to ask you to document what they're going to ask you you did. And then the best part here at the very end, I am going to be filling this out along with our dean, associate dean, to apply for your credential that you've completed the program and you're ready to apply for your credential. So this is the best part, right? What you've been waiting for the whole time. So this is one of the most important documents that you need to fill out at the end. So that kind of wraps up the whole handbook. I know I've gone through that rather quickly, but hopefully you had a chance to look over the handbook. Please don't hesitate to ask me if you have any questions. You can email me or call me, and that's my dog in the background because it is COVID-19. It's always nice to hear things in the background, right? because we're working from home. So I hope this answered your questions. Please don't hesitate to give me a call and let me know if you have anything that you need or any questions. And I cannot wait to watch you go through this process until you are done and ready to go out and help our students in Kern County.